to Sports, Kathi. We are back for a session on football after a long time. So, Rohit, just to update for the people here, what were you watching lately?
Yeah, firstly, welcome back to everyone. It's been some time since we have been planning to do an episode, but due to the geographical situation, we have not been able to, have a session. So I have been, following sports in general. Now IPL is going on, so I've been following that. I have taken an interest in Formula One recently, so I've been watching that. And there's always football going on. So it's been a disappointing season for Manchester United. So slightly difficult to follow football with high interest, given how United is performing. But I've still been following football. And then there is always tennis. So the drama of tennis is going on, and we have the Grand Slams coming up. So been following all the sports, and that's pretty much been with me. So what about you, Vaishakh? How are you enjoying your Bayern Munich season?
Well, I'm enjoying Bayern Munich winning the 10th Meisterschale, the 10th league title, surpassing Juventus, who have, 9 consecutive league titles. So Bayern have the most in the top 5 leagues. Well, it is not much of a, joy winning against a Dortmund team, that had 9 players missing, most of them starters. So Bayern just raced through. Plus, there was a feeling, that Bayern season had been a failure, considering that second round exit against, Bayern's bogey team, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and that was a thrashing 5-0. And then, being sunk in the quarterfinals of the Champions League by the Yellow Submarines. Not so glamorous, but Emery's Villarreal. No, but it was a joy to watch the beer shower today. Nagelsmann enjoying his first beer shower. So, and the fans back in the stadium. That is a feel of the German football. So I've been lately only following much of football, not much of cricket or tennis. Just very much in the periphery. But one thing that I have been enjoying is that I'm also a fan of FC St. Pauli, who's playing in the second division of German football and competing against 6 teams for the title race. So there are 3 match days left, and there are 6 teams in the title race, namely Werder Bremen, Schalke, Darmstadt, St. Pauli, Hamburger SV, and lastly FC Nuremberg. With a game in hand, they are 6th, but they could also go 5th. And now the game in hand is against, relegation escapes called as Sandhausen. And Sandhausen, in the last 1 month, have beaten the top 6, not beaten, have taken points from the top 6, Werder Bremen, as well as FC St. Pauli. And in the next coming 3 match days, St. Pauli hosts FC Nuremberg, Schalke travels to Sandhausen, and then Schalke has to host St. Pauli, and Schalke, after in the last match day, they have to travel to FC Nuremberg. So it's very hard for Schalke. So they are the second. I think Werder Bremen might take the title and they might come back to the Bundesliga. But I just hope, St. Pauli can get that second promotion spot and get to the Bundesliga. Because the 4 clubs that I mentioned, Werder Bremen, Schalke, Nuremberg, and Hamburger SV, are among the top 8 clubs if you look historically in Germany. So 4 of the top 8 historical big clubs are in the second division. And Schalke is in fact the second most supported club in Germany, and they are in the second division. So if St. Pauli can do against these big guns in the second division, it will be a huge joy as a St. Pauli fan. So that's what I'm enjoying right now. Coming back to our main topic. We are here today to discuss about Erik Ten Hag, who is supposed to be the next manager for Manchester United. According to the recent announcement, he has certain demands, and if Manchester United meets all those demands and he comes to United, as a United fan, what would the future of the club be?
Yes, very, very good question. And this has been the question in many of the United fans' mind, and exactly in mind. So for me, myself, I have not followed Ten Hag closely, so I do not have much in-depth knowledge. So what I did was I went back and thought about, okay, let me research on who Ten Hag is and what he has done. So firstly, who is Ten Hag? Who is Erik Ten Hag? So Ten Hag is currently the manager at Ajax. and has been in this role since 2017. According to many of the pundits, he's one of the upcoming managers, waiting for the next big step. He has helped Ajax win the Eredivisie title in 2019 and 2021, and should have won the 2020 title also if it was not for the COVID. And he really came into limelight, or even I noticed him first time was when Ajax team of 2019 made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League. And it was not just about making it to the Champions League semi-finals. On the way to the semi-finals, they did beat Real Madrid 4-1 at Santiago Bernabeu, and also came through Juventus in the quarterfinals. So they had some tough fixtures in round of 16 and quarterfinals to come to the semi-finals. And to highlight the point, that was the first time Ajax has reached semi-finals since 1997. And even in semi-finals, they had won the first leg against Tottenham Hotspurs away, and only missed out progressing because of a Lucas Moura hat-trick, including a last-minute goal. So that shows that was what Ten Hag was famous for, and that is what brought him there. So this is a short summary of who Ten Hag is and what he's doing now. Let's see what his philosophy is going to be. So Erik Ten Hag has like how we have Ralph Rangnick now. Erik Ten Hag has his own philosophy, a style of football. So we can call it as total football because again, these are variations of total football. So, but what is total football and what are the variations I'm talking about? So, firstly, total football is something which you must have heard about when you heard about football, where Johan Cruyff, football was called as total football. And then Pep Guardiola's football, many say, is a part of total football. Luis Enrique, what he deployed in Barcelona was another variation of total football. But then, the real original credit needs to go to the father of total football, which is Rinus Michels. That is way back in 60s. He was the Ajax manager, and he deployed this strategy or this philosophy of total football. And he then took it to the Barcelona team in the 70s, and also the Dutch team of 1974, the famous team which played the World Cup of 1974. In simple short terms, this is a philosophy based on extreme positional fluidity. For example, when Cruyff used to play, he used to be a center forward. He used to drop at times in the back line and play the position of a sweeper. Okay, so this is just an example. But so this is what total football shows, or the philosophy is. Now this, along with a strong counter pressing, an extreme offside trap. So what that means is the idea is here is to narrow down the football area or the area of play when the ball is not with you, and then broaden the pitch when the ball is with you. What Pep Guardiola plays now with City is similar tactic or similar philosophy. What Luis Enrique is doing with the Spanish team is of similar philosophy. These are all various variations of what you can call as total football, and Erik Ten Hag uses and his own variation of this philosophy. But then, it's easier to say about talking about a philosophy. It's easier to talk about a philosophy, but then to play a philosophy, you need players to play the philosophy. You need to have a system that completes the philosophy. And this is going to be the challenge which Erik Ten Hag will have in his hands when he comes into Manchester United. In short, I do not want to go in depth of all the positions and what they're going to do and where they're going to be. But I will talk about few key changes which I believe that Ten Hag will need to deploy when he comes into United immediately. So the first one is that you need to have outright wide wingers or wide forwards, as you call them. Now, this is not something which we commonly see in this everyday football these days. Especially, if you have seen about in Premier League, we see the famous winger Sadio Mane or even Eden Hazard previously. They do not play as wide wingers or wide forwards. They are what you call as inside forwards. They cut in between the line, and they are maybe even play as a number 10 at times. With Manchester United, we do have Jadon Sancho, who will be well suited to play this role in the left wing. In the right wing, the player we currently use is Anthony Elanga, but then he's a forward. He is someone maybe who you can use as an inside forward. So he's not an out-and-out winger. So in United, we do not have clear-cut options. Martial and Rashford are the option, but I don't think they fit the same idea. we will need to look outside. The obvious option is, in Ajax under Ten Hag, there is a player called Anthony, who is a very good option to play on the right wing. So that is one option we can look into. The other options, if you're looking at Premier League alone, then we have Rafinha, who is, I would say, much more developed player and has Premier League experience. So maybe Rafinha might be the other option which we can look into to substitute in the right wing. Then the next position which United will need big upgrades is the center midfield. We know that Matic is leaving at the end of the tenure. Fred and McTominay, it's been public news that they have not been the players which we hope they would be. So, and I don't think they will be well suited to the Ten Hag system also, because they are not those fluid players, who carries the ball forward or has the vision of having good forward passing, which is what the system requires. We do have Gardner and Levitt coming in from the youth team, but I don't think they might be ready for first team starting position, especially for a club like United. So we will need to go into the market and buy players that suit our system. Ideally, we will require two midfielders. We will require a defensive midfielder, someone to play the traditional register role, and also maybe an attacking midfielder. But I don't think we can buy everyone. So I'm thinking we will need to go in and get one defensive midfielder. Now, defensive midfielder can come in different prices in the market. In Premier League itself, if you look into, depending on what Ten Hag wants and what the budget he's looking into, there are various options that is available in the market. I think he would make a wise choice there. I do not want to name few, but obvious names are there available in terms of Ndidi, in terms of Declan Rice, who is the more famous one, which everyone has been linked to. So there are players available in Premier League itself. It's about how much we are ready to spend money on. Anyways, moving forward, the next position which we will need an upgrade is the right back position. Wan-Bissaka will be not well suited for the requirement of a right back in the Ten Hag system. Ten Hag requires a right back who should be progressing the ball forward, who should be having a good passing range, or if in his position more fluidity, let's make the left winger do that or left back do that. Then the right back should be able to fit into the midfield or right midfield and play as right midfielder when the transition happens. And Wan-Bissaka cannot do any of this. He is a good ball winner at the best, but he cannot play any of these positions. I can see Diogo Dalot fit into the role, but then again he has to improve. He's still a young player, so he can be developed into, but whether he can be a first choice starter, I don't think so. We cannot get a Cancelo or an Trent Alexander-Arnold. So who are we looking into? So yes, there are the big names or the big players who can come in are difficult. The best option we can get is Mazraoui, who's under Erik Ten Hag at Ajax. He's kind of the player which we really will suit us and which can fit the role. But then we need to be realistic also. Even Mazraoui will not choose Manchester United because there are way more attractive options that are that will give him Champions League options that are available in the market. So I don't think he will be choosing Manchester United. So then who else? So I have looked into a more realistic option, and for me that would be Bayer Leverkusen's right back Frimpong. He has a very good ball carrying ability, and his chance creation also has been good. His defensive ability as a right back also has been very good, and these are areas which obviously need development, but need to know that he's a young player. So I think under the right manager, someone like Erik Ten Hag, he can be developed into a world-class right back, and he would come at a very reasonable price. I'm looking at reasonable in the bracket of 30 million around. So he could come in at that price, and he along with Dalot, because I think they can play. They complement each other, so they together can fill in the right back position. The next position which I want to touch upon is a centre back position. Now, this is an area where United has struggled a lot this season. I do not see Maguire fitting into the system. So I would expect Varane and Lindelof to be the main centre back, with Maguire and Bailly as backup centre backs. But then again, Lindelof has not been that good, to be fair, to be a starter. So ideal option for me would be an upgrade, and for me would be Antonio Rudiger. And he's going to be available free at the end of the season, as he has already announced that he will be leaving Chelsea. But then again, as I mentioned with Mazraoui, I don't expect him to make a move to United. The other option who can be more long term, and I believe someone who's been underrated and overlooked by English team in the English national team has been Tomori, ex-Chelsea player. If Premier League fans are looking at ex-Chelsea player, and now he plays for AC Milan. He has been, for me, according to me, one of the best English defenders over the last couple of seasons, and he has been going under the radar. So he can be that replacement for us. And when he brings in, obviously he needs to be developed. His progressive passing needs to be developed. His ball playing ability needs to be developed. But he, as of today, is a very good defender. And these developments can be put into him because he's still a young player. And again, under the right management, I think he should be one of the centre backs I'm looking to bring in. And there is also one other option which Erik Ten Hag can bring from Ajax, but I'm not looking at those Ajax options for every position because I don't think how practical they are. So I'm not keeping my my options there. Anyway, moving forward, like one last position I want to touch upon, and more of a controversial topic or more of a controversial position, is the position of the goalkeeper. I did news that David De Gea is going to win the Player of the Year for Manchester United again this year. That would be his 5th time in the last 8 seasons he would be winning the Player of Season. De Gea is possibly the best shot stopper we have in Premier League today. But we need to realize, his strength is that his strength is shot stopper, and he is excellent at it, world class at it, I would call. But in Ten Hag philosophy, we will need a goalkeeper to have good distribution, quick off the lines, and excellent on the ball. And De Gea is not this. De Gea's style of football does not suit this. And he's already 31, going 32. So I do not think we can develop him into someone who is going to be a ball-playing goalkeeper, who is going to be quick off the lines and having a better distribution. We have a ready-made option, or not a ready-made option. We have an option who is better than De Gea in these skills, and that's Dean Henderson. But then, I don't know whether he can be your out-and-out option, and we put all our money on him because he has been inconsistent. Out in the market, there are a lot of options. But in Premier League, because I follow Premier League closely, in Premier League, there is a player, or there is a goalkeeper who has stood out for me, and that is Robert Sanchez of Brighton. So he could be the alternative, and he, along with Henderson, maybe can fight for the first number 1 position, and then let's see how they pan out, and then we go forward. But I think we need to move away from De Gea. Now, having said all this, you might be thinking, well, Ten Hag is going to come, make these changes, and take us to the next title. I will tell you that's not going to happen, because immediately, for sure. Because firstly, we need to be realistic. We are now seeing Premier League football being played at a very high level. Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola have taken Premier League to an extremely high level, where we see 90 points in a season does not guarantee you Premier League title. So to expect a manager to come in and take a team which is at the best scoring 60 to 70 points, to take them to 90 points is not practical. So we need to wait. We need to give him time. That is first point. Second thing is, Erik Ten Hag is 52 years old. So, he will want to prove immediately. And, if to be considered as one of the best managers of this generation, he will want to give results. And that is where the challenge is going to come. His age, and along with English media. English media is not going to be keen to him. Managing Manchester United is not managing Ajax. So when you're managing Manchester United, if you are going to end with a point of just a 60-point season next year, he will need to answer to the English media. He will need to take the pressure of English media. He will need to handle the English media really, really well. And that would be one of his biggest challenges. Along with coming to Manchester United, you're coming to managing players like Rafael Varane, Bruno Fernandes, and Cristiano Ronaldo, of many others, Rashford and Martial and so many others. These are big egos, these are big players on big wages and already achieved so much in their career, multiple Champions League winners. And to manage them, would not be easy. It's not about it's not like managing Tadic or Anthony or Gravenberch back in Ajax. It is going to be a completely new challenge for him. So all this combination of managing the English media, managing the players, along with achieving short-term results and to show himself that he is a big manager, all this needs to be proved. I think it's going to be a big challenge in front of him. So it is a make or break going into Erik Ten Hag. We will see how United can progress. There is a path forward, but we need to be behind Ten Hag and we need to support him. And that's going to be my words for the United fan. Let's be patient and let's wait for him. So that's from my side about Erik Ten Hag. That's been a long speech. So Vaishakh, off to you.
Very well put by Rohit. I don't that much to add. You have touched everything. Except some vague memories that I have. Of Ten Hag being a manager of Bayern amateurs when Guardiola was also in town. And now it's interesting that the two people who were in Bayern are right now in Manchester. So the Manchester derby will be interesting. For me as a Bayern fan. But I don't remember much of Ten Hag's era in the Bayern amateurs because unfortunately it was also some of the time when none of the Bayern amateurs made it big in the professional team. So let's end it here. To all our subscribers, please do like and share the video. If you are new and you like what we say, please do subscribe to our channel as well. Until next time, stay safe. Goodbye.